Join us on Classic FM for a refreshing conversation on building, managing, and preserving wealth the smart way. From practical financial insights to expert perspectives that help you plan for today and secure tomorrow. This is a show that puts your financial future first. Tune in every Monday from 5:30 p.m. to 5:45 p.m.
That is right. Welcome to today's edition of Wealth Management and here on Classic FM 97.3. My name is Chico and I'm not alone in the studio. Let's introduce my regular co-host and financial expert in the show, Mr. Raphael. Good evening, Raphael.
Good evening, Chico. Good evening, Lagos, Nigeria. How are you doing, Chico?
I'm not doing too badly. I'm doing okay. I'm actually a little bit pumped up this weekend, but don't ask me why.
I wouldn't.
Okay. Now, unless you've been living on the rock, you heard me earlier on say we'd have a couple of guests here on the show today. We'd like to welcome to today's edition of the show Mofoluke Keshiru, who is a certified trust and estate practitioner. Good evening, Mofoluke, and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Chico. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, just a quick recap to last week. Last week, things got itchy-touchy, because we were giving you the very best financial advice, but you...
And we almost got bitten off.
I don't know, but it really interesting stuff. And we're not going to go back there, but it would be interesting to get Mofoluke's view on things. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Last week, so Chico and I were having a conversation around marriage, relationships, and finances, and we got to a point where we felt communication was important, and this should be built on trust, honesty, transparency. And at the point where we mentioned full disclosure of your finances, then we got the heat.
Loads and loads of messages talking about you do this at your peril. Then there was a long story about this guy and the wife did one thing. And clearly, there are a lot of people have major issues with full disclosure. And we're talking married couples because the topic was marriage,
relationships, and finances.
Thank you. And it's really interesting. I agree with you, Raphael, regarding communication, full disclosure. However, when something is the norm, there are aberrations, there are exceptions, there are situations where experiences have taught certain people some lessons and they want to take precautions. But it is often recommended that for you to have an efficient plan, it is good for everyone to come to the table just as they are. What you earn, what your goals are as a family, what you intend to do with the resources of the family. Yes, some women would say it's always good to just have that emergency fund somewhere. A lot of ladies are guilty of this, but it is just good to have everything on the table, disclosed, and have that alignment. That is why they say you have to be careful the kind of person you get married to.
Yes.
When there is a disconnect, then the problem starts. But to have an efficient plan, it is recommended that everybody comes to the table just as they are.
I suppose at the end of the day, from what we heard, it simply comes down. Where there's trust, clearly a relationship is going to be stronger.
Absolutely.
With trust.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
All right, fast forward to today. Thanks for that view, because in today's show, we're looking at why legacy matters. And I suppose the best place to start really would be to essentially explain what legacy actually is. I was watching a movie over the weekend, and and this father had built this whole empire and a business and all of that, but he had a son who was son had a problem. Son was actually a serial killer and had a terrible rage, and he'd actually murdered his wife, and then to protect his legacy, his brother was telling him he wanted to report to the police and talking to the father. The brother said, "You've got to protect your legacy. This, that, and that." Until they covered it up, and the boy went on killing. And ultimately, the father had a heart attack when he extended his kids, whatever, and he died. So legacy, the last legacy in the movies. In real life, out here in the real world, what is legacy? Let's start there.
I would define legacy beyond what a person leaves for one's loved ones when the person has passed on.
Yes.
Legacy is anything that you leave behind. Values, assets, the intangibles, more of the intangibles. And also, you know, for instance, there are situations, there's professional legacy. You've worked in a certain organization, you've built a team, and the team has built that culture of teamwork, diligence. We have a minister that is very efficient right now, ensures that things are done properly, timely as well. When we now come to personal legacy, because that's what we're talking about here, personal legacy, the values a person is known for, that family is known for. You just talked about the movie you watched. If only that father had stood up to what he considers to be the truth. Report the son, regardless of the consequences. That family would have been known to actually contribute to society positively, because the stories will spread that indeed this father took this step towards establishing, you know, this kind of legacy. So legacy is that thing that you leave behind that you want to perpetuate, and more often than not, like everybody else, you will want to leave good legacies. There are bad legacies, but good legacies.
Yeah, just like the movie Chico Soap.
You know.
Yeah.
You know.
So what you're saying is, it's not only monetary wealth. No. But it's inclusive of values.
Absolutely.
It's inclusive of financial knowledge.
That's right.
You know, so all of these things essentially,
yes,
is what we should then refer to as legacy, not just monetary wealth.
Absolutely. Entrepreneurial spirit.
Interesting. Interesting.
There's a question ringing in my
mind. Please share.
Country, good names still more valuable than riches, and it wasn't that straightforward. I know that growing up, parents would be like, good name is everything. And so I could really say that my father's legacy and his father before him essentially his good name, you know, because till today I can go to my state and I can walk straight to the governor's office just on the name. You know, the name will keep opening those doors, and I will get there. You know, so yes, it is valuable. You're offering me the money now, and I needed to compromise a bit. I mean, I don't know. But I digress. Anyway, I'm in a naughty place today, so please just indulge me.
So the definition is quite broad.
Yes, it is.
Yes, so it's not just like an ordinary person will think that, you know, I don't have monetary wealth, so what legacy am I leaving behind? So there's a lot to it. Your ethics, your values, your financial knowledge, your name.
Yes, your wealth that you built.
Yeah.
that resilient spirit, that, in fact, the family traditions.
Yeah, so that's actually the question I was going to ask you. That, so how do you transfer this legacy, to, in terms of generational wealth, right? So it then becomes, so all of these things, that make up this definition then becomes generational wealth, so to speak. So how do you then transfer this legacy to the next generation, and then to the next generation, and then it's upheld, in that family all the way?
Okay, thank you for that question. Intentionality is key. We often would recommend to patriarchs and matriarchs to ensure they take steps in communicating who they are, because now that we don't get to sit round the table to eat, we don't get to, even when we go for holidays as a family, we don't get to have that time to actually tell stories of how we've achieved the blood, sweat, the commitment to our goals, our objectives.
In terms of the hard work.
The hard work, everything. How the family wealth is built. How, our great-grandfathers, how they got to the name. Because there's a reason why, because we're Africans, there's always a reason why your surname is Emeyono. There's a reason why, my maiden name is, there's
true.
Things like that. Intentionality about communicating to the family. And it's also very important that all those things are in black and white. Let it be clearly written out.
Okay.
So that they see, they understand. And across multi-generation, just like you mentioned, it can be passed down. For the ultra wealthy, we would say, have a family constitution.
Okay.
Even for those that, when you write your will, let it be stated. Let it's your will is
family constitution.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
So that means that there's a vision.
There's
for the
a
family.
vision. There's
a mission as well, on how you want to.
Yes, the interaction between the family business, if there's one, and the wealth of the family, how all that, and the family members, how they interact, how everybody gets to be a part of that, and perpetuating the legacy of the founder of that wealth, the patriarch, the matriarch. All that is documented, and the family members are guided by everything, and everyone is a part of that process. Everybody is involved in that process.
So that's where the communication is actually key. Very
key.
So that sort of takes me back to the last week topic again, Chico. So that means open communication from the small family of just husband and wife is then very important, because you then need to carry that on as the family expands.
True.
To be able to then demonstrate this intention.
True.
That we just spoke about here in terms of legacy.
And everybody clearly, legacies can be intentional or not intentional. You can be intentional about it, or either way, it's going to be a legacy anyway. But,
yes. I agree with you, Chico.
Whether it's something you're consciously trying to put in place or not, there is something that is going to get left behind.
True.
Okay.
So I suppose the best thing to do is to influence that. And is another way of putting it. What are you going to be remembered
for? Yes, the intangibles.
Yes.
The name, the hard work, the charitable goals. The people you help in your community, in your religious society.
Yes.
All those things that they would say. We have a lot of philanthropists. There's a legal luminary that passed, and in his will, he said that law students should get benefits. They get scholarships.
Yes.
All these things are legacies that is left behind, and it's being done even after the several years of being gone.
Okay, I want to ask. I want to ask this because I understand legacy now, right? But is the legacy as a financial term,
Yes.
that would then concern necessarily a person's finance?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much for that. For the assets that let's say the asset owner or the founder of that family wealth has built, the person must have had the discipline of not being a spendthrift. The person must have had the discipline of seeing the wealth grow, being preserved,
Yes.
and the intention of passing it on, because there's so much that even any individual can actually spend anyways.
Yes.
So that financial wealth or legacy, a founder, a patriarch or matriarch would want to pass that on to the next generation or across generations. That in this family, we work hard for money. Or in this family, we are very savvy, financially savvy. We get the right education to be able to understand the market and play in the market. There are various tools of investment or channels of investment that can be explored. You get the right understanding or guidance from advisors like Raphael to guide you through ensuring there is always growth. You don't, like they say, eat with your 10 fingers. You make sure that you keep some for growth, preservation, and transfer to the next generation.
Like I said, my mind is working on the way today. And as you're speaking now, there's somebody that comes to mind again. I'm not going to name names, but if the cap fits you, by all means wear it. If you're uncomfortable wearing it, you can change your waist and then you can take it off. What did he say? Money na water. Money no be water.
True.
I have a money na water mentality.
There's nothing
leave
like
a
that.
decent legacy.
No.
True.
No.
There we go.
It's not.
True.
It's not.
Shots fired.
It's not. And I dissociate myself from it.
But are there tools though, that you can use in transferring this legacy?
Oh yes.
in wealth
You can use a
management?
will.
Okay.
You can use a living trust.
Okay.
You can have a governance structure and use the family constitution.
Okay.
All you need to do is that intentionality is key, and the need for you to communicate to your family how you feel about things and how things should be done when you're no longer in the picture.
Okay. So one of the things that we also try to speak about last week in our conversation is how does these tools impact the marriage and the children? So if you look at will, for instance, if you're married and you have a joint will, or you have individual will, or you have a mirrored will, insurance as well, how does that impact the marriage? If you have a joint or you have it individually, and I think trust as well, if it's something you can just quickly touch on,
The impact, first and foremost, is the fact that you are intentional about ensuring your loved ones are not left in the cold when eventuality happens.
The inevitable happens, yeah.
Could be incapacity, could be death. You have taken time to create those structures. You've undertaken a life insurance policy. You've prepared a will, a properly drafted or crafted will, or possibly even an education trust arrangement for children that are still in school, or a robust living trust arrangement with the necessary details. You might even go ahead to have a letter of wishes that is a non-binding document. However, it spells out the terms and conditions of administering the assets that you've left behind and how the beneficiaries should enjoy. All this is telling your loved ones that this patriarch, matriarch, father, mother, whoever it is, is indeed loves us, and this is the season of love.
And that's why this topic is important to us as well.
It takes a very intentional, loving person to go ahead to prepare this kind of document.
Yeah.
And the impact is that love. You know how it is, even when you do something for your children or your spouse, you know that feeling, they are happy.
Yeah.
From experience, I've seen a lot of families happy and content and blessing the souls of the disease for taking those steps to prevent the hassle, the stress, the strain. They are bereaved. They still have to start thinking of how do we put assets together and things like that.
Yeah.
It's often messy.
You have to fight with.
Where things have gotten caught up in probate.
We don't want to talk about the government and how the processes are.
Yeah, some families come to mind. The two high-profile ones, the patriarch. Even 30, but people are still in court squabbling over stuff.
Yes.
You know, and
There's
I
one that
suppose
is
the
over
people
50
the people who
years, I'm
gain
sure.
are the lawyers.
Yeah. True.
Yeah,
True.
Well, it's not the lawyer's fault.
It's
not the
their
lawyer.
fault, but they've got to
It was their prayer.
there you go. I mean, so I suppose the advice, the expert financial advice would be really that we take control now that we're alive and be intentional about the legacy you would like to leave.
That's it. That's
Absolutely.
it. That's it.
Absolutely. That's the
it.
word. You know.
Taking
that's the word.
control. Because control is really key, and we leave things to chance for whatever reason.
Yes.
Fear of the unknown, or maybe we are trying to, you know, the superstitious belief that we
Yeah,
start
that's-
talking about it. Maybe we are.
Rafa,
We're
you
going to
mentioned this
last week. Yeah.
week,
That
we talked about
once I put my will in place,
Yeah,
you know, it doesn't mean you're going to die the next
No.
day. You know, it doesn't mean you're going to die the next day. I mean,
No.
but it's important, you know, just like Mofoluki had mentioned, this is the month of love. Valentine is on Saturday, so you need to demonstrate that love to your beneficiaries, your loved ones. If you haven't put a will in place yet, it's very cost effective. I think it's something that you should think about and quickly put one in place. It doesn't have to be physical assets. Like I say to people, your bank account is an asset, your RSA, which is with the PFA, is an asset. All of this can go into your will, you know, while you're still waiting to acquire your first home. But if you eventually acquire the houses, you can always update this document. Living trust is another one, just like Mofoluki had mentioned. And while you're building the goal, while you're building the dream, you know, acquiring the assets for your loved ones, insurance is also very important to protect all of these goals and dreams. Chico, Mofoluki had mentioned that she'd like us to play Return of the Mac.
Ready to go.
We're ready to go.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mofoluki, any final word for Lagos, Nigeria audience as they're listening?
I would just like to implore everyone that you show that you indeed love your loved ones by taking steps to taking control of things, using Chico's word, taking control of things and not leaving things to chance. And you were talking about assets. You know, there are digital assets as well. Your Facebook page, your YouTube page, all that you get from there. You would continue to earn even
Very
when you are
true.
no longer there.
Very true.
So-
Jackson earned over 150.
So you see,
It's crazy.
all this,
Even in death,
even in death. So a plan can be
that's
done.
a fantastic legacy to live there.
You know.
All right. So this has been Wealth Management and You. It comes your way at 5:30 every Monday on Classic FM 97.3. One-stop shop. You need to know and put into practice when it comes to managing it. looking ahead as we've spoken today. Our guest today has been Mofulu.
Thank you, Chico.
Final word is yours, though.
Lagos, Nigeria, we look forward to seeing you again next week, Monday, same time, 5:30, with another interesting topic. We could be looking at emergency fund. Stay tuned and let's have a word together.